Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, hundreds have shown their opposition to UTAS's move into the Hobart CBD, rallying on Parliament lawns. With the city to be surveyed in an upcoming elector poll, speakers are urging attendees to vote no.
In Hobart's Great UTAS debate, it's clear where this crowd stands.
No!
Clutching their call flutes, hundreds of Hobartians rallied against the university's planned move into the city ahead of this month's elector poll. Vitriolic speakers calling out consultation as a con.
This is spin and no more, and it is the worst type of spin you can get because it is fundamentally dishonest spin.
And it will be the final nail in the coffin for campus life, which the university's management has consistently, long before these plans, has sought to undermine.
The crowd was dotted with council candidates, and the speaking list featured a federal member.
People should vote no over the next 2 weeks. Why, I will vote no over the next 2 weeks.
Many asking, where is the state government?
It is good that all the ideas are brought to the table, and we will be watching and be engaged in that process going forward.
The university chose not to speak on camera today, instead issuing a statement to say the University of Tasmania's move into the city will ensure students have access to the modern, purpose-built facilities they need. UTAS management say the results of this elector poll won't change their plans, but opponents say the city move isn't yet set in stone.
Well, we still believe there is a very big chance.
And the upcoming pulse check could go a long way towards determining that. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
After nearly a year away from the game, Tasmania's Tim Payne has made his comeback to cricket. The former Test captain turning out for University in the opening round of the Premier League's One Day Cup, making a solid return. John Hunt has the details.
The Twin Ovals are a long way from some of the great international cricket venues, but today they served as a scene for the return of former National Test captain and Tasmanian cricket icon Tim Payne. It was his first match since playing for Tasmania's second 11, just days after resigning as captain over a text message scandal last November. The wicketkeeper in the thick of the action early on, with University fielding first against Newtown. Back behind the stumps, Payne showed he'd lost none of the skill that's seen him represent Australia in 35 tests. A few eyes dropping into the match to watch on, with some of his closest friends and family on hand to support him. University dismissing Newtown for just 127, with Payne even snaring a catch. He also had the chance to bat late on, scoring 20 runs from 37 balls as they cruised to victory in 31 overs. A solid return, but whether this is a stepping stone to Shield and BBL remains to be seen. Tim Payne and the club were both approached for comment today. They both declined to.
Tasmanian businesses are being urged to grab a spot on a skyrocketing industry. The state government has launched a second round of a space technology seed fund, which helps businesses step into their final frontier.
We're going to see how much of a service we can provide, and hopefully we'll find more partners who can deploy similar code to their infrastructure as well, and it can only grow.
And I'd really encourage all technology companies and interested innovators to get on board, put applications in and engage with the massive opportunities.
The sector is expected to grow to $12 billion by 2030. A world-renowned rhythmic gymnastic coach is educating the younger generation through a range of workshops in Launceston. With a career spanning more than 30 years, including coaching at an elite level in 27 countries, Tatiana Kozadeva is turning her attention to teaching young minds.
Jumping through hoops, Launceston's youngest gymnasts have taken to the mat, learning from one of the sport's greatest.
We've been learning things with our new coach because she's from a different country, so we get to see her do different stuff and we get to do different stuff with her.
Russian-born international gymnastics coach Tatiana Kozadeva has touched down in Tassie, using her skills and experience to teach the next generation.
I was lucky enough to be invited by wonderful people to deliver masterclass for local girls who are just doing first steps in rhythmic gymnastics, and it is my big pleasure to share my experience.
Running a series of bodywork and apparatus handling workshops with our young athletes having a ball.
We've learnt things to do with the bowl and the rope and our hoops.
I do enjoy it just to share my expertise, my experience, my love to the sport.
Passing on her love of the sport to 9-year-old daughter Lottie, who put on a performance for Launceston's littlest gymnasts.
What I did was my rope and my free routine. My mum made them for me a couple of years ago, and we've been changing them and making harder stuff in them.
Inspiring the young group.
I like that we get to see people do their routines in really cool outfits.
Today's been really about showing the girls where they could go in the future and helping them learn some new skills.
Learning and twirling their way to becoming the best gymnasts they can be. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
Dog lovers were thrown a bone this afternoon on Hobart's eastern shore. A doggy day out was held in Lindisfarne, headlined by pet dress-ups and an agility competition won by Matilda, the Tenderfield Terrier.
I would put the treat over where she needed to jump and she would go and get it and jump over the obstacles.
The event coincided with Clarence Arts' annual Poochybald Prize portrait competition. The Australian Federal Police is warning Tasmanian travellers against antisocial behaviour at airports and on aeroplanes. With passenger numbers increasing during the school holidays, the AFP is cracking down on offensive, violent or disruptive behaviour, including incidents of air rage. In the past 7 months, 748 incidents have been reported to police. A community fun run has taken off for another year, raising awareness around heart health. Participants of all ages taking part in the event for a day of fun, physical activity and conversation.
Community coming together to kick heart disease. Stepping into the 15th year of the Run and Walk for Your Heart event.
It's been a great atmosphere this morning. The sun's out, everyone's happy.
Encouraging the community to take care of their heart health.
Northern Tasmania has one of the highest statistics of heart disease in the country.
It's reducing your risk of getting heart disease, and it's more effective than any other measure. And Tassie's the home of heart disease.
A feel-good, family-friendly event helping the hearts of hundreds.
We've got over 300 today, which is fantastic, and an increase on the last few years.
It was my idea to start it when I was a member of the Launceston Rotary Club back 15 years ago. We started in a little park with some very inclement weather, I might add, and it's expanded since then.
Crossing the finish line first, Sam Clifford with a time of 14 minutes 32.
I absolutely enjoy coming and doing this run. I've been doing it for about 10 years, so been at every edition since I was 10 years old. So it's really it's for a good cause.
A cause close to his heart.
I was very proud to know that I'm not doing this just for me. I'm doing it for others who suffer with heart disease, and have had heart problems. And in my family as well, I've had issues with the heart disease.
Taking steps to a healthier and happier life. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
The Jack Jumpers have suffered a narrow defeat in the first game of the NBL season. Their uncanny knack for making big shots late shone through again, but it wasn't enough to overcome a big first half deficit.
Last season's Cinderellas, the Jack Jumpers were again in contention for another miraculous win.
The Jet couldn't get his 3 away. Oh, Jet, what a does!
But despite the late game heroics, it wasn't to be. Eventual losers by 5 points.
It's difficult to win in this league, period. On the road, it's even more difficult, and the margin of error has to be something that you have to be concerned about.
Even fighting for the win was a victory in itself, down by 18 in the second quarter. A hot shooting Kyle Adnam was on target from deep.
Fires away! Oh, you better find him.
But it was the Jack Jumpers who rose from the ashes. Despite their slow start, the pair of Ant imports were crucial.
Doyle and Kelly in the pick and roll. And one! Have a piece of that!
Milton Dorr putting it on the floor and driving to the hoop.
Another one? Just as good.
Despite the close finish, their night-long tormentor Adnam hit 2 big free throws to bring up 30 and end the match.
Southeast Melbourne Phoenix begin their campaign with a win.
But when you're playing from behind, it's always hard to play catch-up, and you have to have probably a perfect finish in some ways to make sure that every possession is hugely important. And they made the plays and we didn't.
Last year's key pieces played crucial roles. Jack McVeigh top scoring with 20, while Josh Majette fed 8 dimes.
They swing for Majette.
Beaten on the boards, they'll have to find an answer, with Will Magnay still a month off returning from injury.
You know, we miss more than just his rebounding, his leadership out there. He's very good at keeping guys accountable. He's a very physical player.
Their next March, Monday's home opener against the Taipans. Josh Stuggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening. 19 was the state's top today in Hobart, Launceston 18, Burnie 16 and 15 in Devonport. 17 across Smithton and Friendly Beaches, Strawn 16 and 13 in Lyowini. On the close-up, low cloud about the west and south of Tasmania with mostly clear skies about the north. Further out, extensive middle and upper level cloud with thunderstorm activity lies across most of central and southern Western Australia. Tomorrow the front will weaken to a trough as it crosses Tasmania early tomorrow, while a high remains to the northeast of the state. Variable winds 5 to 15 knots tomorrow, swells up to 3 metres in the west and south and up to 1 metre in the north. Tomorrow's forecast now partly cloudy and 16 across Hobart and Dover, ooze 17. In the north, 19 in Launceston, partly cloudy about Devonport and Scottsdale. Burnie tomorrow, mostly sunny, Strawn partly cloudy, 17 in Stanley. A shower or two across St Helens and Swansea and 17 in Ross. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now. Tuesday, showers about the west, south and east easing during the afternoon. Wednesday, showers about King Island extending to the northwest during the afternoon. And Thursday, showers about the north and upper east coast. Capital cities, partly cloudy and 23 in Perth tomorrow. Adelaide 24 and mostly sunny in Broome. And currently Hobart 14 and mostly cloudy, Launceston 13 and Devonport 13 and partly cloudy. That's all in weather, Lou.
And that's all your news for this Sunday evening. Thank you for joining us. Have a lovely evening. Good night.